بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم friend. How are you friend? How everything? I hope everything is good with you. Today inshallah in this video we'll talk about something is very important in the contract agreement to start the new project. We'll talk about LOA. What is the meaning first of LOA? This means letter of award. In this video, we'll talk about some details, what should be included in the letter of award, what is the content of the letter of LOA, and next video we'll talk about more and more details inside the LO letter. So letter of award, this is a letter coming from the employer to the contractor talking about the project which it will be handled to him. So what is the should be included in this letter of award? First of all, in the letter it should be mentioned here the details for employer, what his name, what is his number for office number, what is his telephone, what is his fax, all the details about the employer. Then you will mention here the reference letter, for this letter reference number, then the date, talk about the date for this letter, it's very important. Then the details for the contractor who will shall be handle the work to him. After that, attention, you will mention here the name of the main person in the contractor. It should be included. Then you will talk about the project name, which it will be handled to the contractor. And the subject of this letter is LOA, as we explain this meaning letter of award. Dear sir, so this is the first include, it should be mentioned in the LO letter all the detail for the employer name, reference letter, and the date, and the contractor, all the detail about the contractor, means the name of the contractor, box name, telephone number, location number, everything about the contractor. Attention to whom, the main person, GM, like this, main person in the contractor. Project name, you will mention the name of the project, and the subject is letter of the word. And dear sir, you will start about talking about the letter of the word. Then we'll start talking about, we'll make the first of all, on behalf, you will mention the name of the employer. We would like to thank you for submitting your final offer from the main contractor, dated, and you will mention the date of the offer from the contractor. And in respect of, you will mention the name of the employer. We hereby that award you, and you will mention the name of the project. This is the starting for the letter. You have to make it like this. What should be then include in this letter? First of all, you have to mention scope of the work. Inside in the scope of the work, you will mention the general descriptions detail for the project which it will be included. Like you will make construct for one project, G+5, G+4. So you will mention here, the contractor shall carry the work, remedy, and the defect relating to handing over the work, and we will mention all the details about the scope of the work in general for your project or for this project. Number 2, accepted contract amount. Accepted contract amount. In this one, we will talk about the total amount for the project which is agreed. Total amount for the project which it will be, which is already agreed. Number 3, commencement date. Commencement date of the program. We have to confirm in the letter of the word about the commencement date of the program. We can consider that the date which we mentioned first here, the date of this letter of award, is the commencement date. Sometimes we consider another issue, like starting for demarcation site plan or another issue, but in general, in the commencement date in the project, consider the same date for LOA as a commencement date for starting the project procedure. Number 4, it should be definitive contract. In this one, we'll talk about the sequences for finalizing the contract agreement between the two parts, which is included the letter of award and all the tender document and all the detail for the project. Usually, scope of the work or letter of award, it will be valid like 2 months, example 60 days. Then it should be finalized within this duration, the contract, effective contract agreement between the two parts. This is number 4. For number 5, it should be payment terms. Payment terms. And in this one, it will be include the payment terms for our payment for this project. So number 5 is payment terms. Let's continue. Number 6, coordination. Coordination. We'll talk about the coordination between the employer and the consultant or engineering and the main contractor. Number 7, subcontractor. In this one, we'll talk about the subcontractor. It can be or it should be approved from the employer, nominated from the employer, or any subcontractor nominated from the main contractor, and it should be agreed by the engineer and by the employer. Number 8 is progress. We'll talk about the progress of the work. Number 9, we'll talk about the termination. In case of termination from the employer to the project, in this subject, it will be included all the detail which should be agreed regarding in case of termination. Number 10 is a confidentially document. It should be in a confidentially between the two parts or all parts. Number 11 is governing law. And dispute resolution. Dispute resolution. Yani in case for any problem or any dispute happening between the employer and the main contractor. What is the governing law? It should be response for solving this dispute. This is number 11. And finally, is number 12 is acknowledgement. Acknowledgement. And this is mentioned as approved from main contractor. It should be reply to the letter of award. So there are some content we have to follow in the letter and should be included. First of all, scope of the work, accepted contract amount should be mentioned, commencement date of the program, definitive contract agreement, payment terms, coordination, subcontractor, progress, termination, and confinality. And in case of dispute, and acknowledgement in the final. So this is the details should be starting by the letter for award, and this is the content should be included in the letter of award. In the next video, we'll talk about all the detail it should be mentioned in each point of all of this point. Thank you, friends, and inshallah to next video. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.